Hey friends, welcome back to Guitar Quackery Live. We're here at Guitar Quackery, and you're watching me live, or you're watching a replay of a live stream. Guitar Quackery Live is the one and only live streaming guitar repair channel. There's another Guitar Quackery channel which is called Guitar Quackery, which isn't a live streaming channel. So if live streams are too painful to watch for you, check out the other channel. We have here these fret guards. I think this one will work for this guitar. And let's see. See, this always happens with these markers. I can still use it. Let me check these two fret guards. I have a guitar outside on the neck jig. We are going to level the frets. Oh, and I almost forgot. I need to send the link to the customer. Let's do that. Copy and paste. Okay, let me open the app here. Okay, copy and paste. Boom. Send. Okay. This is it. So I need to mark off the frets so we can level them. So I'll mark them off in red. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Okay, just like I thought. I already jigged up the guitar and the neck jig. All right. So I don't have a close-up camera, but if you watch repair videos on YouTube, guitar repair videos, you know what I'm doing. I'm putting red marker on the frets so that I can see what I'm doing. So I can see exactly where I'm removing material from the frets. My customer's picking up a guitar in 47 minutes. So I hope to get a lot done before he comes. All right, and that's it for now. Let this dry. Oh, I need to touch up this little part here. I think I touched it while it was still wet. All right. And now let me do what? I need tape. I need to protect the body of the guitar, the soundboard. I'm gonna need this. And let me think. Well, I actually have these covers. Oh, look, I do have an audience. Excuse me. I do have these covers. I'm sure one of them will fit this guitar just fine. Maybe this big one here. All right, let me see. Yeah, perfect. It's not made for this guitar, but it fits perfectly. And now I still need tape. Here it is. Okay. So the first pass with a fine is going to be with a really fine grit leveling beam, just to see how I'm hitting the frets. I already made the adjustments. Now, I didn't do the usual adjustments with the strings on because I'm actually repairing the bridge. I cannot string the guitar just yet. It'll be fine. But let me take the long leveling beam. So this is the really fine side. I'm going to use this one, which is slightly coarse. I can't remember which grit it is, but it's the appropriate grit. So I'm going to do a light pass. I did scan this guitar. I did a 3D scan, and I just studied it. So I have a, can't really explain this practically to you right now, but I am just kind of comparing what I'm seeing to the mental note that I made from studying the 3D scan of the fingerboard or fretboard. Or here's the thing, a fretboard is also a fingerboard, but a fingerboard is not necessarily a fretboard. That's an old Chinese proverb. So like a fingerboard on a violin isn't a fretboard or a upright bass or double bass. Do you know why they call it a double bass? Well, I have the chat open. Someone tells me why they call it the double bass. So we call it the upright bass in popular music, but in classical music, it's called the double bass. So don't Google it. Just try to come up with an answer. Why is it called a double bass? Then I'll check the chats and then I'll tell you. Okay. All right. So really what I wanted to see now was that that the neck is properly adjusted, and it is. We have a little bit of a, you know, here fingerboard extension coming up a little bit, so we're going to hit that. And it's a 14-inch radius. And I do have a 14-inch radius leveling beam, but I also need my brush. So if you excuse me a moment, this is the brush I need. So that's a 14-inch radius by Skyscraper Guitars. So I'm not affiliated by them. I don't know anyone there, but this is a fantastic product. So there you have it. I can tell you my honest opinion because no one paid me anything. I bought this at full price with my own money, and I have more because you know, this is just a 14-inch radius one. So I wanna. I almost forgot something. Where do I have that little block? It's not this one. So I have that little block that I place on a guitar when I use the radius beam. This isn't it. Just gonna, oh, here it is. Yeah. So this is just, how should I explain this? It's got double-sided tape. I put it there so that the radius, the beam which goes in this direction is aligned against this thing. All right, if that kind of makes sense. And I'm going to install it right here. Let's see. Yeah, great. Okay. And now because I mounted it on this, I'm going to put another piece of tape here and here just to keep this nice and steady. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it should work. Yeah, maybe one more here, just in case. How about this? So here we have, like I said, a 14-inch radius beam. I want to minimize how much I use it because it's kind of aggressive. Some people never use a radius beam, and that's okay. This is just for the early part of the fret leveling job. Now, the neck jig that I'm using now, I made myself. And I keep meaning to make a video about this neck jig because it's, well, it's clearly based on the Dan Earlywine neck jig, but I made some changes, minor changes. Yeah, so you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm going to switch to the other leveling beam. And in fact, I have this one, and I have this one here, which is, well, it's just a spirit level, right? So I no longer need this. I did remove the nut from this guitar. We're going to make a new nut. So which is why I can use the leveling beam all the way across the frets because there's no nut. So I have a few of these with different grits of sandpaper, and I feel that nah, I'm not too sure. Let me see. Yeah, I think I might use the slightly coarser grit. I think so. Yeah. So it's over here hanging. Oh, how many people we got watching? Fret leveling going on. Dr. Harry K. Yeah. Luxurious leveling. Yep, luxurious. I guess you could call it luxurious. Yeah, so If you do use these spirit levels, just make sure it's not a cheap one. You know, just you know, you don't need to buy the most expensive one either. But I wouldn't buy the cheapest one. And you can make your own leveling beams. Here I have these as well. So this is from a really long spirit level, and I just cut it like this. I actually never used these, but here they are, just in case I need them for different grits. We won't use them today for sure. I'm just showing you. I'm going to use this one. This one has a slight, I forget which grit is, but I'm kind of just like using my intuition to, you know, kind of my own judgment to figure out which grit to use. So I can feel that it bites more onto the metal frets. Yeah. So one day when I grow up, I might have a close-up camera here so I can show you what goes on. But I don't have one now. So like I said, this is a little bit of a ski jump here. I need to level off these frets here more than the rest of them. So now what I'm doing is something that the camera can't pick up, but I'm pushing down here. Actually here, right? So that I'm removing more material from these frets here. Now, these last two frets will end up being lower, but it doesn't matter. I mean, on acoustic guitars, these are just decorative frets anyway. But we can't have them higher because that might cause buzzing. So, for those of you who are new to this channel, this is Guitar Quackery Live. It's sometimes painful to watch through unedited repair videos. I understand that. So if you prefer to watch edited content, just go to Guitar Quackery on YouTube. So it's almost the same channel as this one. It's the main channel. This one's called Guitar Quackery Live. And the other one's called Guitar Quackery. I'm still pushing down here. So, you saw me use the radius beam at the beginning. So it was just to kind of, you know, remove the, it's got the coarsest sandpaper to remove the bulk of the material at a radius. So now the coarse sandpaper removes more material at once, but it also produces deeper scratches. And then once we start doing scratch removal, we are actually removing material around the scratches. So we're not really removing scratches, although it's called scratch removal. So we don't want to remove more material than absolutely necessary, obviously, which is why I minimize how much time I spend on the frets with the coarse sandpaper. All right. It's looking good already. So I think I will finish the leveling before the customer comes to pick up his guitar, which should be at 6. It's 5:30 now. Then I'll take a break before I do the crowning or re-crowning. And for those of you, for those of you watching me for the first time, you can see that I'm not doing this, right? I'm doing like a X pattern. So this way I can maintain the radius and yeah, it's better. Now, I don't want to do, so I want to spend, you see here I'm hitting it on the bass side and not crossing over to the treble side. And now I go over to the treble side and not crossing over to the bass side. So that's important to maintain the radius, to sometimes do that as well. Because otherwise you spend more time in the middle of the frets than on the two sides, if that makes sense. If you change the radius a little bit, I mean, the guitar's still going to play. It's an old guitar from 1978. The customer bought it brand new in 1978 at Manny's Music in New York City. And now the guitar is moving somewhere with the owner, with the customer. I don't know, he didn't tell me where to, but somewhere that's not here. So I need to finish this before the 9th. I want to finish it before the 7th, so that if I need to do any kind of tweaks and adjustments, it gives me time. I mean, hopefully not, but you just never know. Plus, I don't want to shoot for the absolute deadline. What if I have a headache on the 9th or something, and I can't work? I am now hitting all the frets here where there's like a low spot. Usually at the body joint you have a high spot. Here's the other way around, because this is kicking up like a ski jump thing. So here I'm just hitting them lightly. So I still need to level off here a little bit. And obviously it's also taking off some material from here, but because I'm pushing down here, it's mostly leveling here. And I can confirm that. Again, you can't see close-ups because I don't have a close-up camera, but I can see because I have the powder metal shavings here, a lot of them, and almost none here. I keep the snag jig here in the this open space, And usually I have a guitar on top, just a junk guitar that's not even being used for anything. And I have my business cards on top of the guitar, and it's sometimes it's a conversation piece. People ask what this is for. I'm not sure who else has a neck jig in New York City. I'm not really sure that anyone else does. Not sure. I don't think anyone else does. I need to do quite a few fret jobs in the next few days. Now, why don't we take the fret rocker and test all the frets in a minute, because I still see some opportunities for improvement here. So just a few more passes. Okay. I don't really want to inhale this. Yeah. Where's my fret rocker? How many people are watching? Only 3. Man, this is a really popular channel. Dr. Jeffrey Boyle is here, and Dr. Aficionado. They're both here. And then who's the third person? I don't know. Oh, yeah, Harry K is the third person. Okay. Okay, fret rocker. What else do I need? I don't know. I'm not expecting to find any uneven frets. I mean, honestly, how could any of the frets be uneven? Maybe in this area here, because, like I said, I've only started hitting the frets here. Now, yeah, I still see a dimple here and here, so just a little more. So I guess since I was pushing down here, it wasn't really leveling here too much. So now I readjust my pressure. And you can see how I'm using my finger here, the middle finger, to kind of pull the leveling beam towards the edge. Just a little more. So these two frets are pretty low now. I mean, it's not bad, but I don't think I have much to work with if I want to put a fall away here, because then they will be basically paper thin. Well, not quite, but you know, if I put a fall away here, so I think we might skip the fall away in this case. So I'm leveling the frets, right? We have some roller coaster issues with the fingerboard, but we're leveling the frets. So like I said, I did do a 3D scan of this. So if I scan it again after the level crown polish job, we'll still see the same roller coaster situation on the board, but the frets, the tops of the frets, are going to be leveled off. And because of the issue, which is why I scanned it, because of the issue with the topography of the fingerboard, we were actually discussing the possibility of doing a refret. So that's one of the reasons why I took a 3D scan of the fingerboard, so that I can simulate a level crown and polish job in the 3D software and kind of predict the results, kind of predict. Okay. So check out the 3D scanning video on the main channel. It's called The Future Guitar Repairs. And you will see what I'm talking about. I am now offering a new service. It's a diagnostic service. I can scan the guitar or parts of the guitar for diagnostics purposes. So in this case, to kind of predict what the outcome of a fret leveling job would be like. Now it's a new service, so I am in fact still testing the service and the accuracy of it, I guess, as well. So it'll be interesting to see, once I'm done, if my level crown and polish job result will be the same as what I saw in the 3D program software. Actually, I can just go to this one. This has the same grid here, yeah. So now I'm already doing scratch removal. So if I scan the fingerboard, with the 3D scanner, and I simulate the fret leveling job in the 3D software, and I see that the frets are getting too low in some places. Then we know that the better service is a refret, because then we pull the frets out and then we resurface the fingerboard, so we make it true, and then we install new frets on a resurfaced fingerboard, right? But in this case, the scan showed me that I am going to end up with good results if I just level off the frets. Okay, finish off in this direction. So that's this side. Now on the other side, we have a finer grit. And look at that. I finished on time. And you know what? They're already shiny, but they're flat on top, which is why we are going to recrown them. So for those of you who are not familiar with this procedure, it's called a level, crown, and polish. So we level the frets, then we recrown them, which the leveling makes them flat on top. Then we recrown them, we shave off the two sides to make them round again, to restore the crown of the fret. And then polish is polish, yeah. So I got 3 viewers left. Did anyone try to answer the question, why do they call it a double bass in classical music? Let me see. Somebody had good, decent shape. Is it realistic? So Dr. Chomby is asking, is it realistic to only replace the bad frets, or does a refret always mean everything? So I hate doing partial refrets. Sometimes it's more time consuming to try to blend in, the frets with the rest of the frets than just to pull out all of them and then just re-level, resurface all the frets all at once. But yeah, you can do partial refrets. Many times it's not a time saver, it's a money saver for the customer. They pay less, but you end up doing the same, you end up spending the same amount of time doing the work. So yeah. So Dr. Harry Case says octaves. Exactly. The double bass was doubling the cello. So the cello was the original bass instrument in the orchestra. There was a violin, viola, and cello. And then they introduced the double bass to play the cello part 1 octave lower, basically doubling the cello. So they call it a double bass. They called it a double bass, and they still call it a double bass. Now in popular music, they call it the upright bass, because now we have bass guitars. So I guess the term came after the invention of the bass guitar, which was the P bass first, right? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'm guessing. Okay, friends, like I said, a customer is going to pick up a guitar, this guitar here, in a few minutes, in 10 minutes. Now, if he arrives on time. But I'm going to take a break from this so that I can deal with that, and then I'll be back and we'll be crowning. Now, I might get a head start crowning, and then while I'm waiting for the customer to come, and then I'll just finish off the crowning on the live stream. Okay? So that's likely to happen. Luxurious leveling because nut was removed. So Dr. Fictional says, please forgive my tardiness. Okay, you're going to go to the principal's office. Okay, so Harry says, nice work. Thank you, doctor. Okay, friends, let me log off, and I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.